Hey, howdy, hi guys. How are you doing? Welcome back to my channel. Um, it is the second day of January, and I am telling you, you do not want to be at Hobby Lobby. I did not know that they marked all their Christmas stuff off at 90%, and that store was literally insane. Insane. There was 15 people at every register. I was just like, I am in the wrong place. So I hightailed it out of there and I thought, you know what? Let's do a Zen Doodle. Just hang out at the house. It's a rainy day. So here we are. We're going to do this little baby here. This was the first one I did. And then this is the one we'll be working on today. I added some pencil shadowing in there. So for that. So this is done. This is a postcard size, a small postcard, considered a small postcard. You can work on bigger pieces of paper like this. I'm going to ask that we start out with a 3.5-inch square like so. I've cut some cardstock paper down. You can use any kind of paper that you wish. But today I'll be using this Sharpie. It's just your permanent marker. It's a fine line. You can use a ballpoint pen. You can, whatever kind of pen you have, a gel pen. You could use a gel pen too. That'll work. So let's get started, shall we? Let me zoom in and I'll be right with you. Okay, so also what we're going to be needing today is a pencil. And some of my erasers on my pencils are a little wonky, so I always use like just an artist gummy eraser. So you'll need an eraser and a pencil too. So the first thing we're going to do is start with a border. Actually, the first thing we're going to do is take a deep breath and exhale. I tend to go into these videos very amped up, and I got to remember to start taking the breath and relaxing, coming into my moment, and just reminding myself that this time is time that is spent for me. I'm not worrying about other people's problems. I'm not worrying about my problems. It's just, this is what I need to do to take care of my core, the inside, just spend a couple moments by myself, doing these little Zen doodles, clearing my mind. So I'm just going to take another deep breath and come into the room. And here we go. Hi, welcome. And you want your border to have a little space because we want to put in some fun stuff around it. So go ahead and just choose how much depth you want in there. And we are going to draw a border. I always start out with pencil first because if I want to change something, this will be the time to do it. And it's just much easier to erase than it is to get a whole new piece of paper and start over. So just going to do a little border. I want to do this one a little bit farther up so I have room. Okay, perfect. Now this section, this part is, it's going to be a little confusing, but if we number everything, I have found that it's so much better. So what we're going to do is we're going to make our first crisscross like an X across the paper, but we're going to do it with wide lines. So you want to take the inside corners, and that's going to be your center point, your middle portion of the line. So you just want to go to a little bit on top of that and take a line straight across. And it should fall just a little bit over from that dot. Then you want to come down and you want to go just under the dot and all the way up. And I don't know if that makes it clear, but you can see there's my center point, and it kind of falls in the center of this line coming across here. So hopefully you understand that. Then we will again take our center point there, go a little bit to the left of it, and come straight across. And it should be a little bit of the left of this corner point here. And hopefully that's what you guys look like. Okay? So now we're going to do a crisscross this way. So we want to take what we think we feel is the center point of the line right there, and you want to go just a little bit to, oh wait, you know what? Don't go up there. Don't look there. It's better to make this your center point and come up this way. So there we go. I was close. Then you want to come down straight down this way. And then we're going to do the same thing. We'll make this our center. Just go a little bit to the left and a little bit to the right. Really doesn't matter how thick these lines are or how thin these lines are. This is just our starting points. So with the cross, we're going to number these 1, 2, 3, and 4. Then with the cross section, we're going to name that 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. I promise you, this will make life a lot easier in the long run. All right, we're done with our pencils. We're going to pick up our pens and prepare ourselves for the next portion. So when we're penning this out, the only line that we are going to run straight across the paper is going to be line number 1. Okay, that's this one here. 1 and 3. Okay, so we'll just take that line and run it all the way across. Like so. Okay, now every line that comes off of this will be coming off of these lines here. They won't cut through. So don't make a cut through with this line. If you see a line, you stop. Okay, so now we're going to go to number 2 and we're going to bring that down. Then we're going to go across the street and continue our line over here to little number 4. Okay. Now we're going to go to line 5 and we're going to again bring that off of these lines. You don't go through, you're going to come off of those lines and go down all the way to your border. I do the border last in case I have to clean up stuff. So 5, and then you come over and you do 7. And then we come over and we do 6. Remembering not to cross any of those lines at the center point. Okay, and it should look like this. All right. We've numbered them so that we can go in succession. It's important to do lines 1, 2, 3, and 4 first, and then the secondary lines we'll go in and do next. But we're going to go in and we're just going to outline these lines, and you bring them straight down to another line. You never cross any lines right here. So we're going to come out and we're going to bring this line from the border right down to the first line of number 6. We're going to bring it from the border right down to the first line of number 5. See how I did that? So then we're going to go to number 2 and do the same thing. Just outlining it, not crossing any lines, not crossing that border, and bringing it down. Number 3, we're doing the same thing. And the last one, number 4. from your border to that first line. So now we have number 5. We're going to take the outside line from the border and we're going to bring it all the way to that outside line that we just drew for number 4. Okay, you don't want to cross any lines from the border to the outside line of number 1. We're going to skip 1 because we already did it, and we're going to go to number 6. Outside line. We're not crossing any of these lines in here. And then number 7. And number 8. Okay, we just did our first round. Okay, now we're going to start at number 1 and we're going to do it all over again. Remember to take a deep breath, not to cross any lines. We're holding our pen gently. Going to number 2. The other reason I name these is number all these lines are so that I make sure in my head that I'm hitting all the lines. Because if you come in here and you skip number 8 and then you go in with number 1, it's going to screw up this weird little pattern you've got going in here. So it's, for me, I get a little case of not focusing or dyslexia or whatever you want to call it. And I will sometimes skip a line. Some of these have a little boo-boos in there where I've skipped the line and it kind of throws the whole thing off. So I have found that if you just number them and you go in sync, you're going to hit all your lines that you need to make and then go in succession, because you need to do the crisscross ones first and then do the normal cross ones second. So this just helps me to keep everything all in order. If you can do that, right? And now we start the secondaries with number 5. Releasing our shoulder muscles and our back. Be careful where you're holding your stress. Don't hold your head to the side. Put a strain in your neck. Number 7. Number 8. Okay, you see what we're doing? None of those lines are crossing any of the other lines. So you just bring it down to the first line and then you stop. All right? And just keep doing them consecutively. So I'm going to put it on speed and you can hit the pause button and I'll see you when we're done. Okay, so when you get to this point where you're just able to just put one line, go ahead and just do that. You don't have to worry if they don't have matching lines on the other side. Okay, we got it. There's our deal, our little Zen Doodle. Now we can go through and we can just do our outline on our piece. I like to do the outline last just because inevitably, if I don't do it, if I do the outline first in pen and then I run all these lines up there, I'm always going to go over. So why not just do it in pencil, give myself a little room there, and then I can always go and clean it up with the pen work at the end. You don't have to do it that way. The other thing I've noticed is when I talk and do my lines, they always wiggle all over the place. I'm like, oh my gosh. Okay, now we can go in with our eraser and just erase all of our pencil marks. And this is going to make this camera bounce all over the place, so I'm just going to shut it off for a minute and erase. All right, I'll be back soon. Okay, I just for giggles wanted to make two sides a lot darker than the other two sides. It was just a me choice. You don't have to do it, or you can do it, but yeah, I just opted to do that. So we have erased all of our pencil mark, and we are now just working with our ink pattern. What we're going to do is we're going to go in here and create a little bit of definition in with these little intricate pieces here that look like they're woven together. So what you're going to do is you're just going to add some weight to it. What you come in, and I don't know if you can, let me see if I can do this here. So you come in with these areas right here, and this is where we're going to make the darker lines. Just these little pieces right in here. We're not going to bring it all the way out. We're just going to kind of thicken up these lines right here. Okay? So it will look a little bit like this. Okay, see how I did that? Just those little pieces right there. Not the whole line, just the little pieces. And there you have it. See how that's a little defined? And now we're going to take our pencil and we're going to do some shading. And we're just going to bring it out that much more. Okay, what we're going to do now is do a little bit of shading. It's not going to take a lot. Remember, I told you could use your a Q-tip. You could roll up some paper and use that to disperse the graphite, or you could always use your finger. But I find these two work much better. But if all you have is your finger, then by all means use your finger. So what we're going to do here is we're going to stay on the like the inside of the black marks that we just made. So I would go and pencil right in here. Just do like at the very tip of that. You see where that I've just gone in at those lines and brought up a little bit of pencil. We're actually just laying down the graphite so we have something to work with when we use the Q-tip. So you're just coming in here at those where we just put those black lines, and you're just putting a little bit of graphite in at those corners. See how that is? You're just laying it in right at those corners that we just put in. You don't have to be particularly neat about it because we're just going to smush it all around. Now we're going to take, I'll do one with the cotton swab. And then I will show you with the paper one. I make these little paper ones from when I make these cuttings from the paper that make these 3.5 squares. I'll always have like a little bit of leftover. So what I will do is I will take those and I'll make these into these little smudging tools. So as not to really waste a whole bunch of paper, because I hate doing that. So there, you got it. Then I will take and any any pencil that went onto my white lines, these 2 white lines particularly, I'll just come in here and lift that out with the eraser. And there we have that part done. And then I just, for giggles, wanted to come in and make some cool border. So that's why I went in and just did this little detail around the border. You can do whatever you want. If you want to do circles, lines, triangles, whatever meets your fancies. I just thought it was a neat little detail to put in. Thank you so much for coming to spend some time with me today. I appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed this Zen Doodle. The next one we will be doing is going to be super cool. There it is. Again, we'll be adding in shadows, but this is a little time consuming. So definitely get yourself a 3.5-inch square piece. We might even work on something a little bit smaller, but yeah, that's another cool piece to do. But yeah, so I'm just going to thicken these lines right here. But this is it really for the Zen Doodle. Please subscribe to my channel if you would like to get notified of more Zen Doodle tutorials. You can check out my website. I carry these great get out of my head art journals. So that you can take your Zen Doodles and have a safe place for them to reside. You can also write little journal quotes. They come with quotes and art papers for you to do art on, and bookmarkers and postcards to decorate. They're really kind of cool. I hand paint each one of them. But yeah, so I hope you're having a fantastic start to your new year, and I do look forward to seeing you here again. So don't be a stranger. And if you ever want, find me on Facebook and share your art with me. I would love to see it. I might even show some of it with permission only on here. So I'm definitely interested in what you guys got going on. So thanks, guys. I appreciate it. Have a splendid day, and I will see you soon. Peace, love, and rocks. Take care. Bye.